I'm recording this really early on the 24th, so due to time differences, that means it's still technically Doctor Who Day in the UK. So happy Doctor Who Day, assuming that it's still Doctor Who Day when I upload this. Editing Josh here, I just wanted to say a massive thank you to my good friend Alita Stone for once again designing a beautiful channel intro for me. I'm going to leave a link to his channel in the description and also at the end of the video. He's a good guy. You should check his stuff out. Hey all you Hillmaniacs, it's Hillmanator, and most of you will know that I am a big fan of Doctor Who. And I always have been since the day I was 5. I flicked onto one of the very early Chris Eccleston episodes. I believe it was The End of the World, and I've watched it ever since then. I've watched every single episode of Modern Who, probably at least 3 times, and I've also gone back and watched significant chunks of Classic Who. I flipping love Doctor Who, basically. It's my jam. And now they have put out the Series 12 trailer, so I want to watch that and see what it's like, you know, see if it's any good. So I want to get a couple things out of the way before we start. Series 11 was a controversial series, I'm well aware. I gave that, looking at my review for all of the series, I gave that a 7.5, so I thought it was good. I didn't think it was great. I thought, yeah, it's good, it'll do, you know, I like it, but it's nothing mind-blowing. I'm hoping that this new series will be far better. I liked some of Chibnall's work. His stuff in Torchwood was really strong, and some of his stuff in Doctor Who was also pretty darn good. I think people forget that a lot of the stuff that he wrote wasn't as bad as they make out. I'm hoping they give something really meaty for Jodie to get into, because I felt like one of the major problems that I had with Series 11 was that they basically just gave her all of the very basic Doctory traits, and they never gave her something really juicy to get into. And, you know, it was fine for the first season, and I completely understand why, you know, there was all that controversy over casting a woman as the Doctor, and you wanna play it safe the first season, fair enough. But I really want them to give Jodie something really juicy to get into with her acting chops, because we all know that she's got the talent to do it. We also are aware at this point that the Judoon are coming back at some point, and the Daleks are also going to appear at some point in this series, as are the Cybermen. Now, I've heard a lot of theories, I've heard a lot of rumours. The one I'm putting the greatest stock in is I think the Cybermen are going to be redesigned, because the last time they were redesigned was 2013, and there were massive complaints about that, so I wouldn't be surprised if they were redesigned again. When I say massive complaints, of course not as big as when the Daleks were last redesigned, which was in 2010, 2011, with Victory of the Daleks, and yeah, they were complained about so much that they just decided not to use the new designs. I'm hoping that it's going to be a good trailer. I'm trusting that this season's going to be good. Let's give it a watch. Okay, it's 1 minute 17, so it's not that long of a trailer. Here we go. Let's get this full screen. Okay, starting in 3, 2, 1.
The name's Doctor. The Doctor.
The security of this entire planet
Okay.
is at stake. Can we rely
Oh,
upon
there's Stephen Fry.
I wanted to be. I can work with this.
Okay. Oh, Judoon, nice.
I don't suppose you've seen anything weird.
That looks a bit like Arachnos.
you believe this is a human?
It's not going to be a... Oh, giant scorpion.
Don't you?
Okay.
Where are we? Paris, 1943.
Oh, we're going back to World War II.
Something's coming for me.
That's cool. Oh, there's the new Cybermen.
Where it gone?
Oh, that's cool.
Family.
Nice.
Get away from them! Ain't nothing
Okay. Oh,
What have you brought here, Doctor?
something's getting in the TARDIS. This is an interesting trailer. Okay, that was very interesting. Ooh. Okay. So I'm gonna try and go through the trailer now a little bit to just have a little bit more of an in-depth look. So let's see what we've got in each shot. We start off with this lovely shot of the TARDIS just in a, I think it's a vineyard, maybe? And yeah, it's just establishing shot, TARDIS in a vineyard, I'm the Doctor. Of course, that's just a nice intro, all dressed up fancy there, so presumably that's going to be where we see Jodie's second outfit, which is going to be the suit almost, so that should be interesting. Then we've got something crashing towards Earth and the Doctor scanning, big firing, like, what was that? That almost looked a bit like a dinosaur, but it's not a dinosaur. Let me have another look at it. Okay, so it looks something like a hybrid between a dinosaur and a human. Unless they've massively redesigned the Silurians, I assume that this is a brand new monster. Obviously Stephen Fry, pretty cool. I like Stephen Fry. Then the good joke, I think, the Doctor and, is that, I don't know who that is with her, but they're both trapped for underneath floorboards by the looks of it. If my analysis isn't all that in depth, I apologise, I am still half asleep. There's a spaceship taking off, okay. No obvious sign of where it's taking off from. Then we've got the Doctor, Graham and Ryan, all in a spaceship, I presume. It looks very space age. There's the Jadoon. Now this is a completely different spaceship. Maybe we're going to see the inside of the Jadoon ships. That'd be interesting. I'd be up for that. Then they've caught Graham and Yaz running away from something, I think, because there's a blast of colour at the bottom of the screen. So presumably they're running away from something and they're saying what, as if they're confused. This thing, it reminds me of the Rachnos. It's obviously it's not, because the last of the Rachnos was killed, but it does remind me a little bit of the Rachnos. So maybe it's a cousin or something similar to the Rachnos. I don't know, but it just seems similar. Have you seen anything weird? Okay. Oh, someone firing at the Doctor. Great dome on a barren landscape. Now, I'm not certain. This is a very, very hypothetical thing. Now, I'm not certain, but this dome could potentially be one of the domes that the Khaleds or the Thals used in their war before Davros created the Daleks, because they very famously lived within domed cities to survive the nuclear fallout of this war. And the landscape, yeah, I could believe that it was Skaro, because of just how desolate it appears to be. So maybe that's what they're going for with this sort of dome thing. Gaz and someone else running from a giant scorpion. This doesn't appear to be modern day in the slightest, obviously, based on the stores or just you know, the outfits that they were wearing. Something appears to be controlling the car that Ryan and the others are in, because that would explain why it's just going by itself. Then we've got a shot of Graham plugged in to a whole bunch of stuff, which presumably is the shot that follows the Doctor saying, "You trust me, don't you?" Here we have a shot of a load of guys on I think it might be the Doctor actually, and Ryan and Yaz, all on motorbikes, riding through a vineyard. And the reason I say it might be the Doctor, Ryan and Yaz is because it looks like they're all wearing the suits that they were wearing earlier on. So I'm going to presume that the three people on the motorbikes are the Doctor, Ryan and Yaz, and then someone else is in the car, potentially someone chasing them. It looks like someone's shooting at them, so, okay, yup, here we go, Paris 1943. Was it 43 or 42? Yeah, 43. Okay, so that looks, in the background of this shot, it looks almost like a stereotypical resistance leader. And I say that from my years of watching Hello. That's the exact sort of outfit that Michelle or Mimi LeBlanc would have worn in Hello.
Listen very carefully. I shall say this only once.
Renee, there is no bride.
Listen, I shall say this only once.
Renee! The German officers cannot stay in the room of my mother.
Shut up! Michelle has something to tell us.
Listen very carefully. I shall say this only once.
Maybe they're all with the French resistance. Doctor looks not the happiest there, let's put it that way, which should be interesting, hopefully. Something new for Jodie to work with. Then here we see the new Cyberman design. It seems to have a similar sort of body to the redesign from 2013. In fact, I think this might be one of the redesigned 2013 ones that's just been battered up a whole load, and they've just almost like taped together and stuff to show that they're going to do the redesign, because it's got that blue circle in the middle of it, which is very 2013, and it's got the cross thing which appears on it, which again looks essentially 2013, although I think it might be the redesign because it does appear to have enlarged earmuff sort of things, which are almost a classic Cyberman look. So, okay, then we've got this look at the guy's face, very damaged. Standard shot of Ryan looking at something. Yaz at the police station. We might actually see her using her police training for once. Graham saying they're all family. Yup. Okay. Okay. That was very clearly not the Doctor reacting to Graham's statement. It was very clearly two separate scenes cut together. I get the feeling something is going to happen to one of the crew. I don't think any of them are going to die by any stretch of the imagination, but I think something's going to happen that's going to make them want to leave, and then the Doctor will be annoyed and upset, and that could potentially be an interesting arc. I'd be up for that. Crows attacking people in what appears to be some sort of agriculture lab, maybe. Then we see these shiny boys. Can't make out what they are. Then we've got these guys who I'm assuming are going to be in Paris 1943 because of the gas mask thing. It just seems like that's where they would be. And they've got their, like, it looks almost like a pulse laser. I don't know, maybe. But it's definitely some sort of sci-fi, yeah, laser. And then we've got this thing, whatever it is. It looks like the same things that were shining earlier on that I didn't know what they were. Because just from the head shape, that it seems very similar to that. And it almost appears not just to be phasing through the TARDIS, but distorting the TARDIS door. Like, if we look here, I'm not sure whether you can see my mouse, but by the head of this thing, the TARDIS door is very distorted. In fact, it's below it as well. So I don't know whether it's entirely due to phasing or whether it's actually distorting the space in order to allow it through. That'd be interesting. Everyone clinging onto the TARDIS as it explodes. The Doctor running on a beach. Oh, there was a body in the water there, so the Doctor was running towards that. Then we have more shots of crows attacking them. So apparently we're going to get one episode of Birdemic this season. No, it should be good, hopefully. Maybe we'll go more Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds. Big explosion, pushing people over. Who was that? I can't really make it out in this. Yaz crying, which once again supports my theory that something bad is going to happen, but no one's going to die, I don't think. Ryan's right next to her, so once again, that means that Ryan is safe. Although he does look down, he's very sad, clearly, because his face is just angled at the floor, so something mutually sad. And this is an interesting shot. The Doctor appears to be in shock almost in this shot. Like, she can't believe what's going on. So maybe that has something to do with the traumatic experience that I think one of the companions is going to undertake this season. And that is the entire trailer. Pretty good trailer, I'd say. It hit most of the points that I thought it would. We didn't see the Daleks, but I think that might be because they're saving it for the special. It makes sense to, I guess, because then you'd have like even more of a gap between when the Daleks appear. Because for those of you who aren't in the know, as far as we fans are aware, there is a deal with the Terry Nation estate, who technically own the rights for the Daleks because Terry Nation created the Daleks. Basically, the deal says that Doctor Who has to use the Daleks once a year for every year that they produce a series, because otherwise the rights reverts to the Terry Nation estate. So I think we'll probably see the Daleks in a special. Yeah, that would be my guess. The new Cyberman design, I didn't really get a good look at it. I think in this one it might even just be the 2013 Cyberman design, but really, really beat up, and then they'll bring out a new Cyberman design in next season, which, you know, it makes sense to do. It's almost what they did with the Cybermen in Closing Time, because in that episode we saw multiple really damaged and beaten up Lumic style Cybermen. And then in the next appearance of the Cybermen, or rather the next big episode, I'm pretty sure they appeared after that at some point, but I can't remember. In their next episode, where they were the main antagonist, they had their redesign, which was Nightmare in Silver? No, was it Nightmare in Silver? Yeah, it was Nightmare in Silver. Okay, I was right. Camera cut off, as I was saying. We don't really get much of a look at the Jadoon, but I think we might be going inside one of their ships. We still not sure what sort of role they're going to take in the season. I think it'd be interesting to have an episode which focuses on Yaz's police experience with the Jadoon, because you know, they're supposed to be like mercenary police, which is quite an interesting concept in and of itself. But when you have a police officer in the TARDIS, that is such an interesting thing to explore. We did get a brief look at what I presume is a new monster, because I doubt they're going to redesign the Silurians again this early. No Sea Devils, as many people suspected there would be. I don't think they're going to bring back the Sea Devils this season. They seem to already have their returning villains, and I don't think they'll want to bring back the Sea Devils as well. One thing I do want to clear up though, it's something that I heard quite a lot, especially coming from the community of fans who didn't like Series 11 for whatever reasons. They seem to be really concerned about this, which, you know, if they didn't like it for its political overtones, which a lot of people didn't, then I can see that they wouldn't like this necessary plotline. But a lot of fans seem to be under the impression that David Tennant is going to return for one episode, and that Jodie Whittaker is going to lecture him on being toxic in his masculinity, and she's going to complain about all of the previous Doctors. Now, first off, do we really think David Tennant has the time to appear in any old episode of Doctor Who that isn't a special? Like, no. If he's going to appear, it's going to be a special, let's face it. It'll probably be an anniversary special, if anything, because anniversaries. Second off, the 10th Doctor was straight up toxic anyway, even if you don't agree with the idea of toxic masculinity, okay? So I'm going to set aside the whole toxic masculinity thing. Let's just look at the 10th Doctor. He decided towards the end of his life to exert so much power and control over time itself that he changed the entire future of the human race and led to Adelaide Brooks' suicide. So that's not great, is it? I'm not saying he was bad, I'm just saying the 10th Doctor wasn't the best of all of the Doctors, probably, in terms of morality. I still love him as a Doctor, obviously. Yeah, 10 has some interesting morality quandaries to look through. So if they were going to do it, then I would presume they would focus on the fact that, you know, he does some messed up stuff throughout the show. But yeah, overall I'd say it was a pretty solid trailer. I liked it. I'm hoping the season's going to be good. I think it's shaping up to be a good season, and I think something tragic's going to happen that will lead to someone leaving the TARDIS, and the Doctor will have to deal with that, and will probably be guilty for a while, because that seems like an interesting arc to me. It's what I would do if I were writing it, because people are already complaining about the TARDIS being too cluttered, so what's the easiest way to declutter the TARDIS and, you know, give Jodie some more depth, more introspection and stuff? Have something bad happen to one of her companions that's her fault, have that companion leave the TARDIS, even if it's just temporarily, and voila, you have a lovely place to start putting some guilt in and start really ripping up the 13th Doctor's emotions. Anyway, I'm going to leave this one here because I have no idea what I'm talking about, and half of my observations are probably complete rubbish. Okay, thanks for watching all. I shall catch you next time.